Parents of Reddit, what's the creepiest thing you've ever heard from your child? 1. My daughter once asked, is today the day the glass breaks? Confused, I said no. 10 minutes later, the living room window shattered from a stray cricket ball. 2. Not my child, but I'm much older than my sister. One day when she was about 4 or 5 years old, we were playing in her room. She stopped mid-sentence and stared out her window. She looked scared for a second and then just annoyed. I don't see anything weird, so I asked her what was wrong, and we have the following conversation. The tall man is back. Oh, do you want to go somewhere else? No, let's just play. Is he scary? Annoyed sigh. No, he just looks at me. He just looks? Yeah, and sometimes he goes down the hall like a hoverboard. Oh, well okay, how about we go play in the living room? 3. My son, who was around 7 at the time and my only child, would play in his room and have these vivid conversations. I just brushed it off as imaginary play. But these convos were about our family. One day, out of curiosity, I asked who he was talking to, and he told me a sister that was in heaven came to play with him and described what she looked like. I had just had a miscarriage a few months prior to this happening, and he described a baby girl that would have looked like me. Then one day he randomly came to me and said, Mommy, my sister isn't coming back anymore. She says I have new sister coming to play with me. Creeped me out, but I did find out a week or two later I was pregnant and I ended up having a girl. 4. My dad passed after a long, painful struggle with cancer when my son was around 18 months old. I was still grieving a few months later when my son woke from a nap and I went to his room to get him. When I opened the door he pointed behind me and said, Who's that man? We were alone in the house, but I looked behind me anyway to see nothing. I said, What does he look like? My son answered, He looks like the sun. A few days later we were playing on his toy telephone, having pretend conversations. My son passed me the phone and said, It's Papa. My eyes welled up instantly and I asked him, What does he say? My son paused like he was listening and said, I love you. Another pause, I miss you. I'm usually not the type to believe the supernatural, but it really made me believe that he came to say goodbye to us and let us know he was okay. 5. I was babysitting my cousin and her bedroom door swung wider open of its own accord. I said, Well, that was creepy, and slammed the door shut. She said, Hey, why'd you slam the door on Grandma? Our same grandma who died 3 months before she was born. 6. One of my kids came wandering out his bedroom at like 1 a.m. and told me he couldn't sleep because the shadows are angry. Like, thanks, kid, now that's a thing I'm gonna think about forever. 7. When my daughter was born, my 2-year-old son, sweetest guy ever, was holding her, looks at me all serious and goes, We don't strangle our baby sister.